morning and welcome to Rising. We've got another stupendous show for you today. Hello, Brianna.
Hello, Robbie.
What's happening? What's shaking?
All right, well, we have an update on Maui. After touching down in Maui yesterday, the president and first lady were met with some anger by some residents who say the current administration is abandoning the victims of the island's deadly wildfires. A group of protesters posted up across from the airport shouting expletives at Biden's motorcade shortly after his arrival, and another resident on the island displayed a sign on their lawn saying, quote, "Trader Joe must go." The president kept his visit short after attending a few fire-stricken sites and paying his respects to victims during a ceremony. He and the First Lady returned to Air Force One. They then flew to Lake Tahoe to finish their vacation. The host of Morning Joe defended the president after video appeared to show him falling asleep during yesterday's short events. Let's watch.
It's the same thing with this Joe Biden and his sleeping deal. You actually look at the longer video. He coughs. He bows his head like the woman next to him. He takes like 4 deep breaths, like he's trying to catch his breath. We don't know why. Maybe he was moved. And then he's like nodding, looks up. And yet the screaming headlines is Biden's sleeping, Biden's sleeping, Biden's sleeping. And he coughs. And now look at this. Okay, goes down. He's been traveling a lot. Look at this. He takes 1, 2, catching his breath. By the way, the lady next to him several times, head bowed too, is very moving. And, he's listening to the speaker. He goes, yes. He raises his head. Oh, my God, it's the end of the world as we know it. The only thing, Willie, the only thing that we can thank God for is that Joe Biden was not wearing a tan suit, because then it would have been a total meltdown on the far right. But I will tell you, the people of Maui, and again, read the local coverage. Don't listen to the lies on Trumpy outlets. Read the local coverage. All incredibly positive.
Wearing a tan suit or perhaps even riding a bicycle. Even worse, Joe. That could have been big news as well.
Yes.
If you're watching this morning, you have no idea what we're talking about. It's because you live in the rational world where this was an insignificant moment, not a controversial one anyway.
Hello from the irrational world, Robbie.
They were big mad about this. Look, maybe we should have been a little bit more careful. It's not totally verified, I guess, that he fell asleep. He looked pretty out of it to me.
But wait a minute. To me, the claim wasn't, I know for a fact he was in the middle of a REM cycle. The claim was his eyes were closed and his head was nodding during the remarks. And I'm sorry, I don't know if that video was supposed to be exculpatory. That's exactly the video that we all showed. I didn't feel like the lengthier time frame of it added anything to my perception of what happened, which is that it looked like he nodded off.
Kind of looks like he's doing that. Have you ever been at a conference, or the worst is driving, when you're like...
Well, no, I don't. I don't drive. Well, but yes, I've been in class, meaning an 8 a.m. class, where I've done that thing, which...
I can't imagine you particularly awake for an 8 a.m. class.
my morning show co-host knows that I'm not a morning person.
but no, they were really mad at us in particular. There's this NBC News article about this. So that's MSNBC. Twitter X didn't immediately respond to an email request for comment about the Hannity video. They're claiming there's like a lower quality video that was shown by, and Fox News, on which Hannity has a show, also didn't immediately respond to a request. Several videos on YouTube used the lower resolution video to allege that Biden fell asleep. One from Tim Pool had 116,000 views. Another from The Hill, that's us, had 118,000 views. Thank you, viewers, for tuning in. And a third from a self-described motorcycle enthusiast had 3,000 views. YouTube, and then this goes on. YouTube bans misleading content if it has been technically manipulated or doctored in a way that misleads users and may pose a serious risk of egregious harm. YouTube didn't immediately respond to an email request for comment. You see what they're trying to do there?
Yeah,
they're trying to get us banned.
Okay, but this is what I don't get it, Robbie. I didn't know that there were 2 different qualities of video. When I watched that video from the Joe Scarborough show, it looked just like the video that I've seen. I'm sorry, I didn't see the difference. I was waiting with bated breath to be disabused of my belief that he had actually nodded off. I Am I missing something? I didn't see.
I mean, I can't hear him snoring. He's more engaged in this in the remarks he's hearing than anyone has ever been in the history of time. Maybe we played a video. Was it doctored? Was it like we're just asking questions? Was it doctored? Who doctored this video? Was it Russia?
Exactly.
Like that's the tone of what
Exactly.
they're doing here.
Exactly. Also,
They
by
want
the way,
us banned from.
It is also not a crime and not disqualifying to be president to fall asleep during an event. Biden's real problem isn't that people are talking about him falling asleep. Biden's real problem is twofold. One, that the whole circumstance of his visit to Maui looks bad because it seems like it happened too late. He delayed ending his vacation to go there. He was there only a short period of time so he could return to his vacation.
He talked about that he almost singed the wheels of his motor, of his Corvette.
He made a coarse analogy between people, all these people who've lost their lives and homes to his kitchen fire that could have hurt his precious vintage car. And the bigger problem, next to the callousness which people say he's treated the Maui situation with, is the fact that he has had many, many events and gaffes for his whole career, but particularly in recent years, where he seems slower, sleepier, less articulate, and less able than he did in years past. Nobody would care. I mean, some people would care if Obama, let's say, had nodded off. But the implications of it wouldn't be the same. The implications that you're not fit to lead, not because you nodded off one time, as we all have done, but because it seems to be part and parcel of a growing group of evidence that perhaps you are not cognitively fit or even physically ready to do another 4 years.
Exactly. It's a totality of things. It's the way he sounds, how slow he is, how unfocused and disengaged he seems. And like this is all for optics, right? His presence there doesn't actually, whether they get assistance or how much money they're getting, actually has no bearing on whether he's there or not. He's there. It's ceremonial. It's about optics. It's all about optics. His visit, the president's he's not actually the one coordinating any relief efforts, and it doesn't matter. And if he was, it wouldn't matter if he was there or not. So it's only about the optics of it. So for him to look like he's out of it or asleep is really just as bad as to actually be it, because it's only about optics.
Yeah, that's the whole point of why you're there. I think that's a really excellent point, Robbie.
Yeah.
What do you make of the choice? Because I saw some people criticizing Biden for ultimately going to Hawaii but still choosing not to go to East Palestine. I saw some people arguing, well, because Hawaii is blue, it went for Biden. It's Obama country, that he cares more about those people than he did in East Palestine, Ohio. What do you make of these kind of arguments? And now that he has demonstrated he can go to a tragedy, he is able to go to the site of a disaster. Does that make the choice not to go to East Palestine look that much worse?
I think we're going to talk about that later in the show, but maybe he saw that Secretary Mayor Pete's visit didn't go over well. He said, I'll let Pete take the heat on this one, and I'll stay at home.
Well, I'm not sure that was a good calculation, considering the Maui visit didn't seem to go off with flying colors either, but stick around. We'll have more Rising for you right after this.